First contact crisis. The stars hum like distant jewels against the endless void as the Araxis science vessel, Celestial Seeker, glided silently through the uncharted system. Captain Lizaratian stood at the observation deck, her translucent skin shimmering with patterns of turquoise and gold, a sign of excitement among her kind. After 3 cycles of methodical exploration, they had finally found something extraordinary. "Captain, scans confirm intelligent life on the 3rd planet," reported Science Officer Malin, his skin pulsing with analytical blue patterns. "Their technology is unusual. They've achieved spaceflight and established orbital stations, but their advancement path differs significantly from galactic standards." Lizara's 6-fingered hand moved across the holographic display, enlarging the image of the blue-green world. "Earth," she whispered, the name feeling strange yet somehow appropriate on her tongue. "How advanced are they?" "They've reached Type 1 civilization status, but in a highly asymmetric pattern. Their computational systems are remarkably sophisticated, yet their propulsion technology is primitive." "They've barely explored their own system," Malin replied, his head tendrils fluttering with confusion. The Araxis had encountered 17 intelligent species in their 2,000 years of exploration, but none with such peculiar development patterns. Galactic protocol dictated observation from a distance until a species achieved consistent Type 1 status, but something about these humans fascinated Lizara. "Prepare the communication array," she ordered, her skin flashing with decisive purple. "We're initiating first contact." Her crew stared in shock. "Captain, that violates Directive 7, warned Security Chief Velar, his skin darkening to a concerned crimson. "The Council will not approve. By the time the Council learns of our decision, we'll have proven its merit," Lizara replied firmly. "There's something different about these humans. I want to understand them before others arrive." Little did she know how prescient her concern would prove. On Earth, United Space Command Headquarters erupted into controlled chaos as the alien signal appeared on their monitoring systems. The signal was clear, structured, and unmistakably artificial, repeating mathematical sequences followed by simple pictographic communication attempts. Admiral Haruki Tanaka called an emergency session of the Global Security Council. "Ladies and gentlemen, after centuries of speculation, we have confirmation of intelligent extraterrestrial life. The vessel is currently holding position near Jupiter's orbit and appears to be waiting for a response." Ambassador Sophia Chen, Earth's foremost xenolinguist, studied the transmission patterns with intense concentration. "They're being careful not to intimidate us. The mathematical sequences establish common ground, while the pictographs suggest peaceful intentions. I recommend we respond." "With what exactly?" demanded General Reynolds, his voice tight with suspicion. "For all we know, this is prelude to invasion. If they wanted to attack, General, they wouldn't announce themselves first," Chen countered. "They've made themselves vulnerable by revealing their presence. I suggest we show equal courage." After hours of debate, Earth dispatched its response. The U.S. Harmony, a diplomatic vessel carrying Ambassador Chen, and a small security detail led by Captain Marcus Rivera. The ship was unarmed, a deliberate choice to demonstrate peaceful intentions, though 2 combat-ready vessels remained on standby in Earth orbit, out of sight but prepared to respond. As the Harmony approached the rendezvous point near Europa, Ambassador Chen felt the weight of history upon her shoulders. Her heartbeat quickened as the alien vessel came into view, its elegant crystalline structure unlike anything humans had designed, pulsing with internal lights that seemed alive. "Opening communication channel," announced Communications Officer Paddle. "Translation algorithms ready." Chen took a deep breath. "This is Ambassador Sophia Chen of Earth. We come in peace and friendship, hoping to establish dialogue between our worlds." The response came quickly, a mixture of sounds gradually refined by the translation system. "Greetings, humans of Earth. I am Captain Lizaratian of the Araxis Exploratory Fleet. We too seek peaceful exchange of knowledge. The initial communication was cautious but promising. The Araxis shared information about their species, a photosynthetic race that evolved on a world with 3 suns, capable of absorbing energy through their translucent skin, with a civilization spanning 12 star systems, but founded on scientific exploration rather than conquest. Our greatest achievements are in biological sciences and quantum mathematics, explained Lazara, her image now visible on the view screen, skin patterns shifting in mesmerizing waves. We seek to understand the universe, not dominate it. Chen was about to respond when Captain Rivera interrupted. Ambassador, we're detecting multiple objects approaching at high velocity. They're not from Earth. Before either the humans or Araxis could react, space seemed to tear open as 7 massive vessels materialized from what appeared to be folded space. Unlike the elegant Araxis ship, these new arrivals were angular and predatory, their black hulls adorned with crimson markings that resembled war paint. Vorlak warships. Lazara's voice turned urgent, her skin now pale with alarm. Ambassador Chen, you must leave immediately. The Vorlak are conquerors. They see other species as either threats or resources. Too late, Rivera reported grimly. They've surrounded both our vessels. A harsh, guttural voice boomed through both ships' communication systems. Attention, inferior vessels. This is War Captain Drakath of the Vorlak Dominion. You have entered claimed territory. Surrender your ships and prepare for processing. Chen exchanged glances with Rivera, then addressed Lazara. Who are these Vorlak? Why would they claim our system without contact? They expand aggressively, claiming any system with valuable resources, Lazara explained quickly. They must have detected our communication and followed. I'm sorry for bringing this danger to your world. War Captain Drakath's voice interrupted again. Your discussion is irrelevant. You have 1 Earth rotation to surrender or be destroyed. The human planet will be assessed for resource extraction potential. The threat hung in the silence that followed. Chen's mind raced through diplomatic options, while Rivera quietly prepared defensive measures, limited as they were. The Araxis ship, designed for science rather than combat, had minimal defensive capabilities. Ambassador, Lazara communicated privately. My ship cannot withstand Vorlak weapons. We should never have approached your world so openly. Before Chen could respond, space folded again. But this time, the ship that emerged bore Earth markings. The U.S. Defiant, a combat vessel that wasn't supposed to be anywhere near Europa, took position between the diplomatic ships and the Vorlak fleet. This is Commander Elena Reyes of the U.S. Defiant, a confident voice announced. Ambassador Chen, Captain Lazara, the Security Council sent us as additional protection. Looks like we arrived just in time. Chen had worked with Reyes before, a brilliant tactician with unorthodox approaches who had distinguished herself during the Mars colony crisis. Her presence changed the equation, but they were still dramatically outgunned. Commander Reyes, War Captain Drakath's voice carried amusement. Your vessel is impressive for such a primitive species, but it cannot stand against 7 Vorlak warships. Join your companions in surrender, and your deaths will be quick. Reyes's response was calm. War Captain, perhaps you should scan the asteroid belt before making threats. As if on cue, dozens of small objects detached from various asteroids, propelling toward the gathering ships. The Vorlak scanners suddenly blared warnings as they detected multiple weapon signatures. Impossible, growled Drakath. Our intelligence indicated humans had no significant space combat capabilities. Your intelligence is outdated, Reyes replied. Humanity has learned to be prepared. Now shall we discuss terms like civilized beings, or do you prefer to test your assumptions? For several tense moments, no one spoke. Then, without warning, the lead Vorlak ship fired a plasma beam directly at the Harmony. The diplomatic vessel would have been destroyed instantly, but the Araxis ship moved with unexpected speed, interposing itself in the beam's path. The crystalline hull absorbed much of the energy, but the ship shuddered violently. "Return fire," ordered Rise, and the Defiant launched its own attack while the asteroid drones closed in. The first battle between humans and alien aggressors had begun, with an unexpected alliance forming in the crucible of conflict. As Ambassador Chen was rushed to an escape pod, she looked back to see Captain Lissara's ship, damaged but still fighting alongside the Defiant. The unlikeliest friends are made in the face of common enemies, she thought as the battle illuminated the darkness of space. The unexpected alliance. Commander Elena Reyes had never expected her Monday to include battling an alien armada, yet here she was, orchestrating a defense against the technologically superior Vorlak while protecting both the human diplomatic vessel and their new Araxis allies. Status report. She barked as the Defiant shuddered under enemy fire. Shields at 62%, weapons at full capacity, responded Lieutenant Park from Tactical. The asteroid drones are in position, but taking heavy losses. Reyes nodded grimly. The automated combat drones, part of Earth's secret defense network, were never meant to win this fight. They were a distraction, buying precious time while she implemented the real strategy. "Begin Operation Chameleon," she ordered, "and open a secure channel to the Araxis vessel." Captain Lizara appeared on screen, her ship's interior flickering with emergency lighting. "Commander, we cannot hold much longer. Our research vessel wasn't designed for combat." "I don't need you to fight, Captain," Reyes replied. "I need your scientific expertise. How quickly can your people analyze and adapt to Vorlak shield frequencies?" Understanding dawned in Lizara's luminescent eyes. "You're thinking of resonance disruption. Brilliant. We can help with that. Give us 2 minutes." As the battle raged, something remarkable happened beneath the chaos. Human ingenuity combined with Araxis scientific knowledge created a synergy neither species could have achieved alone. While the Defiant executed complex evasive maneuvers that baffled the Vorlak targeting systems, the Araxis transmitted precise shield harmonics that allowed even the humans' relatively primitive weapons to penetrate enemy defenses. War Captain Drakath watched in growing rage as his supposedly inferior opponents not only survived but began inflicting damage on his fleet. "Impossible," he roared, smashing a control panel. "How are they penetrating our shields?" His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Vex, studied the tactical display with narrowed eyes. "The humans are fighting irrationally, War Captain. They execute high-risk maneuvers with no regard for conventional tactics, and the Araxis are somehow enhancing their weapons." "Then we'll destroy the Araxis ship first," Drakath decided, directing all weapons toward the crystalline vessel. The attack might have succeeded if not for Commander Reyes's next move. "Now, Lieutenant Park, execute Phase 2. Throughout the battle, the Defiant had been releasing what appeared to be debris, fragments of hull presumably damaged in combat. The Vorlak had ignored these pieces as inconsequential. Now, as they converged on the Araxis ship, these fragments suddenly powered up, revealing themselves as miniaturized shield projectors. They formed a protective bubble around the science vessel, just as the Vorlak weapons fired. "How?" demanded Drakath. "How does a primitive species possess such technology?" The answer, had he known it, would have both impressed and terrified him. The technology wasn't purely human. It was an improvised hybrid, combining Earth's miniaturization capabilities with Araxis energy manipulation principles, communicated and implemented in real time during battle. While the Vorlak's attention was focused on this unexpected defense, Ambassador Chen had been busy aboard the escape pod that had seemingly fled toward Earth. Instead of retreating, however, she had redirected toward the largest Vorlak vessel, their command ship. "We're in position, Commander," she communicated quietly. "Ready when you are." "Proceed, Ambassador," Reyes confirmed. "Captain Lizara, can you create the distraction we discussed?" The Araxis ship suddenly began emitting a brilliant cascade of energy, a chromatic display that confused Vorlak sensors and momentarily blinded their visual systems. In that crucial moment, Chen's pod docked with the Vorlak command ship, its presence masked by sensor ghosts created by the Araxis. Aboard the command ship, Chen led a small team including 2 human security officers and 3 Araxis scientists who had transferred to her pod during the earlier confusion. Their mission wasn't to attack, it was to understand. According to the Araxis data, the main information center should be 2 levels down, whispered Chen as they moved through the surprisingly organic-looking corridors. The Vorlak, they discovered, were cyborgs, biological beings extensively augmented with technology, their ships extensions of themselves. When they reached the central data hub, the Araxis scientists worked quickly to interface with the alien system. Fascinating, murmured one named Telorn. Their entire strategic database is accessible. They never expected anyone to infiltrate this far. What they discovered changed everything. The Vorlak hadn't come merely to conquer. They had come specifically because they feared what humanity might become. Intercepted transmissions between Earth and the Araxis had triggered a deep-seated alarm in Vorlak strategic algorithms. Look at this. Chen pointed to a translated segment. They've been observing Earth for decades. Their predictive models show humanity reaching technological parity with them in less than 50 years, then surpassing them within a century. It's not just your technology, explained Tilorn. It's your adaptability. The Vorlak evolved in a stable environment, becoming powerful but rigid. Humans evolved facing constant challenges, developing unprecedented flexibility. They see this as an existential threat. Armed with this understanding, Chen opened a direct communication channel to both fleets. War Captain Drakath, this is Ambassador Chen. I'm currently in your strategic center, and I understand your fears now. The battle paused as Drakath's enraged face appeared on all screens. How dare you invade my ship? You will die for this. Perhaps, Chen replied calmly, but not before I've transmitted everything I've learned to both Earth and the Araxis homeworld. Your strategic assessments, battle plans, everything. She paused, letting that sink in. But I'm not here to threaten you. I'm here to offer an alternative. Drakath's expression shifted slightly. What alternative could possibly exist? Alliance instead of conquest, Chen proposed. Your own data shows that fighting humanity will cost you at least 3 battle fleets before we're subdued. Resources you can't spare with your ongoing conflicts in the Andromeda Arm. Instead, imagine humanity's adaptability working for mutual benefit. For the first time, uncertainty crossed the war captain's face. The Vorlak do not ally with potential threats. Yet your own history shows 5 instances where you've done exactly that, Chen countered, referencing data from the Vorlak's own records. The Mavorian Compact, the Talaxian Agreement. You're capable of pragmatism when it serves your interests. A tense silence followed as Drakath consulted with his commanders. Meanwhile, Commander Rice positioned the Defiant for a potential final strike if negotiations failed. The Araxis ship, though damaged, prepared to channel all remaining energy into one devastating pulse if needed. Your proposal has merit, Drakath finally admitted. A temporary cessation of hostilities may be arranged while your leaders and mine discuss terms. Excellent, Chen smiled, recognizing the Vorlak equivalent of surrender. Commander Rice will coordinate security arrangements. I suggest a neutral meeting ground, perhaps the Araxis Science Station in the Proxima system. As the immediate crisis de-escalated, Chen returned to the harmony with the infiltration team. The resulting negotiations would continue for months, eventually establishing the Earth-Araxis Vorlak Accord, a tense peace maintained by the unlikely balance of Vorlak power, Araxis knowledge, and human unpredictability. 6 months later, Commander Reyes stood beside Captain Lasara and Ambassador Chen on the observation deck of Earth's new orbital diplomatic station. Below them, Earth gleamed blue and peaceful, unaware how close it had come to becoming just another conquered world. The Vorlak are still watching us, Reyes noted, eyeing the distant monitoring vessel the treaty permitted at the system's edge. As are 6 other spacefaring civilizations we haven't formally met yet, Lizara added, her skin patterns shifting thoughtfully. Your world's first contact happened quite differently than the Galactic Council anticipated. Chen smiled. Humanity has a habit of defying expectations, but I'm more interested in what comes next. With Araxis biotechnology and our computational systems, we've already developed faster-than-light communications. Actual interstellar travel isn't far behind. The Vorlek's fears weren't entirely unfounded, observed Rice. We are advancing faster than they predicted. The difference, Lizara's skin glowed with optimistic gold patterns, is that you won't be facing the galaxy alone. Sometimes the most enduring alliances form in the most unexpected circumstances. As they spoke, dozens of ships from Earth and Araxis worked together throughout the solar system, building defenses, research stations, and the framework for humanity's first true interstellar vessels. The stars no longer seemed distant and unreachable, but rather a frontier awaiting exploration by a new and unexpected partnership. To unlikely friends, Chen raised a glass in the Earth custom of toasting. And to the adventures ahead, completed Lizara, her translator perfectly capturing the hopeful sentiment that united them all.